Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Superhero movie manga adaptation now looks to finally reach its end, with Beast Gohan now finally taking initiative and putting Cell Max down for good, which only right after Cell Max is defeated goes on to beg the question as to what is next within the Dragon Ball Super manga. With Jump Festa now right around the corner, the expectation now is that we are going to finally be getting the next arc sometime around December and January once the superhero arc is over and done with. But what exactly is the next arc going to be in Dragon Ball Super, and will it live up to expectations? Especially now, since many people have been getting sick and tired of seeing the movie adaptation be featured within the manga. As joining me now for the first time on the channel to discuss the upcoming arc, which could in fact actually be something involving Black Frieza, is a fellow YouTuber and good friend of mine that goes by the name of Mark9. Now Mark, me and you have spoken about this off camera many times before, and I think you already know my position on all of this, to which I think that the upcoming arc in the Dragon Ball Super manga should in fact feature Black Frieza, and that is solely due to the fact of what they ended up doing just about a year and a half ago when reintroducing Frieza within the story and later having to reveal that he has a new black form. It's absolutely insane to me to see everything that Frieza had done during that time in spending 10 years within a random time chamber in order to solely devote 10 years of his own life in training as hard as he could, and from that point coming back out and being shown having to one-shot both Goku and Vegeta while using Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct. So the overall excitement factor of when that actually happened was through the roof, because many people, including myself, were then wondering as to what exactly they had planned for the character of Frieza now that he has obtained a form that could potentially even rival everybody within Universe 7 effortlessly. What I think they should end up doing, especially going forward now, since honestly speaking the superhero arc wasn't really impressive to begin with, is I believe they should end up going into a direction, and you guys can let us know what you all think down in the comment section below as well, where they go as far as to plant the seeds in laying out some sort of a Black Frieza arc, because we know that Black Frieza is essentially coming, because why introduce the character essentially if you're not going to do anything with him, right? So my question to you, Mark, as well as all of you guys listening to this video right now, is if you believe that Black Frieza fits the mold in being the next big bad villain to our heroes, because we know that at least Vegeta is training to beat Frieza now, right? So would this be the best direction to go in featuring Black Frieza as the main antagonist within the upcoming arc for the Dragon Ball Super manga, or would you rather go into a different direction first before getting to that point? Because I know that you had mentioned to me off camera, Mark, that you believe that Frieza could potentially maybe be after the Super Dragon Balls, if anything, so it would make sense as to why he would, especially when having to rebuild his army and go as far as to do other things before having to make his move. So if you do believe that Black Frieza should be the next enemy in this story, then how would you go as far as to construct that and introducing that as some sort of a narrative to the main story following the events of Dragon Ball Super Superhero?
This is just a theory, and this is just something that I'm thinking of. We don't have much to go on. There's a handful of pages that involve Frieza, his brief explanation of his new form, and his ability to one-shot both Goku and Vegeta while taking out, like, the biggest big bad that they've faced thus far. So if you're Frieza, and we talked about this in ROF, that he trained for only 4 months and he got super duper strong and he got his gold form, and that was enough to go toe-to-toe with Goku when he was Super Saiyan Blue. And the Super Saiyan Blue form is a power that is an energy that is emulating of or representative of divinity. Okay, so he is like in a god form, and he was able to do that in only 4 months. Now, as we know, Frieza did not perfect this form in that 4 months, and he burned through that energy very quickly. Now, he's got this new form, he shows up, he takes out these enemies that have proven to be a crazy threat, and he doesn't kill Goku and Vegeta. In my mind, I'm thinking, why would you do that? Yeah, the writing for Dragon Ball has a tendency to sort of drag things on and make excuses for odd behavior and whatnot, and it's sort of like that playful thing that the writers like mess around with a little bit. But if you're Frieza, who is hell-bent on wiping out the only opposition that exists in this universe, and I really want to emphasize the word universe here, it would make sense for Frieza to take out Goku and Vegeta because he's not in the same way. He doesn't care about honor or integrity. How many times has he betrayed them? How many times has he lied? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care. He destroyed Planet Vegeta, wiped out all those guys without a second thought. But the fact is, he doesn't care about a fair fight. So why would you not kill Goku and Vegeta when you have such a massive leg up? At this point, I'm thinking of a couple of different factors here. Goku and Vegeta have forms that are still relatively new compared to their Super Saiyan forms, Super Saiyan 2, even Super Saiyan 3, whatever. These forms are fresh, they're powerful, what more could you possibly do? But Frieza having a new form means that Goku and Vegeta are going to need to train their asses off to be able to catch up, because 10 years is a huge time jump, or a time disparity between the two. So if Frieza didn't kill them, he has an ulterior motive. And if in all the universe, as we know from the Tournament of Power, we know that the fighters present in Universe 7 are the strongest ones within the universe, Frieza knows that the only people that would pose a threat to him are the ones that were on his team at that tournament. However, he knew that the whole thing was going to result in someone using the Super Dragon Balls as a means of getting a wish that was far beyond the power of the Earth Dragon, far beyond the power of the Namekian Dragon. Now, Frieza also probably wouldn't. It might be a little bit more difficult for him to get like a very basic wish or a couple of wishes or 3 wishes or whatever from the Earth Dragon. It might not be able to have the power that it needs to grant whatever he's got on his mind, and also too, like, you probably don't want to like send your spies or even have be there yourself, skulking about trying to track down the Dragon Balls. That there's just a risk to that. So the same thing can also be said about the Namekian Dragon Balls. Don't risk that. If Frieza has this knowledge now of the multiverse, if Frieza has this knowledge now of like the gods and the power across the universes, how many universes there are, an understanding of the Super Dragon Balls, wouldn't you think, as the biggest big bad that Dragon Ball has ever had, if you're that villain, wouldn't you go after the Super Dragon Balls and try to like make yourself a deity or wipe out all of your enemies in one fell swoop? Like, he already proved his strength. But if he didn't kill Goku and Vegeta, it's because he wants them to suffer something greater. So what do you do? What do you do with that? Gather the Super Dragon Balls and declare yourself the ruler of the multiverse? Make yourself more powerful than Zeno? Like, have the ability to like be Zeno's boss? I don't know. Like, if you're Frieza, he is thinking as high as you possibly can, as big picture as you possibly can, in order to take them out. And I think you can prove that, sort of, with the evidence that he didn't train for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years. 4 months of training made him equal to Goku, and the only thing that held him back from defeating Goku in that fight was because he didn't master the gold form. Why would he go 10 years? Why not 1 year? Why not 2? Why not 5? Why 10 years? It's because he knew that he was going to go up against something big. But Frieza proved here that the most powerful adversaries, from his point of view, in the entire Universe 7, he could one-shot them with ease, and it doesn't matter. When you're that strong, it's because you know that you're going to be facing a very big threat. So if I'm Frieza, and I get this new 10-year form of training, and I now have this black aura, this black form, this energy and whatnot, and I one-shot my foes, and I'm that strong, I'm thinking a much bigger box. I have a very long, drawn-out plan. And if he's going after the Super Dragon Balls, there's a pretty damn good chance that he's going to go up against Jiren, who's probably training as well. There's a good chance that he's going to be facing other gods out there. And also, too, I think Whis also said at one point that we're focusing so much on the gods of destruction, but there are in order to have a cosmic balance, there are other gods out there that do the opposite with life, and there's, all the Kais and all these other deities and stuff like that can see everything. Dende is the guardian of Earth, and he can see everything happening on Earth, so he's probably going to see Frieza and his men and whatever. So what does Frieza do? He goes outside that scope. and he's going to go and try to do what he can to be strong enough as possible to put the gods into submission, and then either become a god himself, become the new destroyer god, or become the king of everything. That's what you do. So for him right now, there's no point in wasting time on these cockroaches that are Goku and Vegeta. Who gives a shit about these guys? Like, is what Frieza's thinking. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, I have an army that is going to take over Universe 7. I've got an army that I'm hoping to expand across the multiverse, and I've got an army that's hopefully going to help me be at the tippy top of the cosmos, of the multiverse, over Xeno and everything. Because if the Super Dragon Balls were created by a dragon god, and the Super Dragon Balls don't have a limitation, it's quite possible that is what gets you there.
See, now I find this interesting only because I would like to believe that Frieza would be after the Super Dragon Balls, especially if he would know that, hey, if maybe somehow he were to go about by conquering Universe 7, that maybe the other gods are gonna have some sort of an issue with that, or maybe even some of the other mortals from the other universes, such as Jiren, might take up some kind of a beef with that, or whatever, you know what I mean? But it was very strange to see Frieza just flex his black form and just simply go as far as to take both Goku and Vegeta out with one hit. But then again, something tells me that they included and went as far as to include Beast Gohan in this series for a specific reason, and I believe, in my own opinion, that the reason as to why they have added Beast Gohan in this series, not only to have Gohan catch up to both Goku and Vegeta, but I do sincerely believe that at some point during this entire ordeal, we will see Black Frieza stomp everybody out, except the one and only Beast Gohan, which, remember, Frieza does in fact have lots of history with Gohan to begin with, dating all the way to Namek. So would I like to see, of course, Beast Gohan demonstrate the fruits of his power against Black Frieza? Absolutely, but I think to that, introducing a scenario where everyone goes to war with Black Frieza would be essential, and that's only because you can have like somewhat of an Avengers-style battle, like, you know what I mean? Frieza posing as being the Thanos of the entire ordeal while pitting him up against Orange Piccolo, Broly, Ultra Instinct Goku, Ultra Ego Vegeta, Beast Gohan, and whoever else ends up showing up, which ultimately segues into my question becoming, do you think that this scenario is plausible for it to actually happen within the series, or do you think that perhaps maybe they're going to save Frieza for maybe some other arc that's not going to be the one coming up next ahead?
So Frieza made a very good point for like a long time ago in Resurrection F. Like, I feel like he made a point that he was basically born into being the strongest in the galaxy or the universe or whatever at that time. And he talked about how he never had to train because he was always so much stronger than anybody else, and he made it a point to bring up that it was only 4 months it took to get the Golden Frieza form. So he is naturally super duper strong. Now Goku and Vegeta have been training their whole lives to be where they are, and this is as far as it's gotten them. So the thing, I think also too, a little asterisk on this, is that the scales of power in Dragon Ball have always bothered me because it's very, very inconsistent. Like there's a certain, like they used to use the Scouters to have a power level number associated to things, and it used to be like 1,000,000 was like super strong, and then it was this, and then they changed things, and like the inconsistency made it hard to really grasp how strong like they are from a numerical value standpoint. But I do want to point out, at least from the multiverse point of view, is that Jiren is stronger than a god in his own universe. Frieza knows this. Frieza knows that there is a universe out there where a mortal being can be stronger than a god. Now, it's not clear to me if Ultra Instinct could beat Beerus in battle, but it is suggested that there's so much potential in that form that it definitely could be. And Goku is the main hero of the story, right? So of course, at some point, he's going to be able to tap into that power, and then he's going to be able to, you know, do whatever. And plus, as we previously talked about, like there's still, if you want to consider it canon, the final martial arts tournament where Goku meets Oob. So we know, at least leading into that, Goku is alive long enough to meet Oob in the ring, and then he goes off to train him. Now, we don't know what happens after that. We don't know if Frieza's going to return after that point. We don't know exactly what's going on with this. This is all very confusing. So this is just theories, and I want to make sure that's the case because the internet is temperamental and sensitive, and you get attacked for, you know, sharing your thoughts. So I think it's important to recognize, though, that if there is a mortal being that can be stronger than a god, Frieza wants to be that mortal being in his universe. And if Goku is stronger than Jiren or beats Jiren in a fight or is a stalemate, regardless, going toe-to-toe with Jiren proves that you are strong enough to beat a god of destruction. It is not clear if Jiren's God of Destruction, like how powerful in comparison to Beerus, but we do know at least that Vegeta and Goku both know how strong Beerus is, and then of course Whis is stronger. It's weird. The whole scaling thing is abstract. The point that I'm making with all this is, though, is that characters that have a natural affinity to being incredibly powerful like born into it like Frieza, never had to train, and now he's trained, and look how far he got in 4 months. I can't imagine how strong this form is truly at 10 years, but I'd have to imagine that he is far stronger than Jiren at this point, Frieza by comparison. I have to imagine he's far stronger than Broly, because Broly is getting training to kind of keep his emotions in check, control himself, control that berserk form, and I feel like Frieza is proving that your natural-born strength doesn't matter. It's the training that you hone into it to really reach that form. And I don't think that Broly, no matter how much energy he's got in his berserk form, is going to be able to exceed 10 years of training from a character that was born into being the most powerful. And then Goku and Vegeta had to spend their whole lives to like step up over that. It's hard because we don't know the full extent of this, and Goku and Vegeta were also fairly weak in this battle, so they weren't at their tippy top. But I would have to assume that Frieza's time into this shows that he is far superior in strength by a massive amount. And unless they want to just like sort of be like, oh, he's, you know, Goku and Vegeta are going to get angry, and then they're going to power up, and then they're going to get a new, you know, second variation form of their ego and instinct, like that's going to be stupid, and it's going to piss me off, and I'm going to be irritated, and that's just obnoxious. But I do believe also that Frieza knows that killing them is either a waste of time or keeping them alive as part of his plan. The other thing is that Dragon Ball has always had a problem with the stakes never being high. Why? Because there was always a way to bring people back. There's always a way to wish people back to life. There's always the chance of, oh, you're an Earth hero. There's, you know, you're going to keep your body in the other world and whatever, and you can always come back for 24 hours. Like, there's so many reasons why death means nothing. So if you're Frieza, wouldn't you want it to be permanent? Wouldn't you want anyone who could go toe-to-toe with you or stand against you to be permanent? Why kill them now when you can make them suffer, wipe out the Dragon Balls, wipe out any other possibility of bringing them back, do everything that he can to make sure that the gods, the angels, the Dragon Balls, like the other world thing, he could rewrite history in whatever way that he wants. So he has to be strong enough to face up against anyone who could potentially be his equal. And that means possibly Broly going all out, definitely Beerus going all out, definitely the other gods going all out. And you brought up like the whole idea of all the other main characters coming into like a sort of a 5-on-1 thing. Totally. It did not make sense to me at all in Superhero, where we saw Gohan like become in this new beast form when like he was pretty strong in the Tournament of Power, but didn't quite like reach his, you know, potential. He wasn't anywhere near as strong as Goku and Vegeta at that point. At least that's how I felt. Gohan might still have some sort of latent power, and that, you know, we saw the beast form, but it was weird to like save that form for the movie, and then Piccolo being Orange Piccolo as well. Like, it seemed odd to introduce those concepts and save it just for a movie. Like, it seemed weird to do that. Unless there was some sort of really big thing coming where we wanted to introduce this for the excitement of the movie, but there's still something bigger on the way with the series where these forms are going to come into play. And if that's the case, you have to remember that like Gohan and Piccolo and Vegeta and Goku and anybody else that has a new form that's going to help fight, like they all have to be at their best in these new forms to go toe-to-toe with Frieza, and I feel like it's still not going to be enough in order for like that drama cliffhanger thing. But that's just me. I still feel like they're not going to stand a chance with what we've seen here, but I guess we're going to hopefully get some answers in the future, because there's so much mystery around all this. It'll be hard to say until we get a little bit more piecemeal, chapter by chapter, in any future manga volumes that include this.
See, now, not for nothing, that's interesting, and I really do hope that they end up doing something with Frieza, because why keep him around if he's simply going to just troll behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below on what it is that you guys believe the next arc for the Dragon Ball Super manga is going to be. Is it going to be maybe something involving Black Frieza, or are they finally going to jump into the end of Z Budokai Tournament by featuring Oob having to finally meet Goku, or do you perhaps believe that something else is going to happen? Let us know what you all think down in the comment section below. Again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so very much for your time, and also, if you just so happen to love Dragon Ball and gaming at the same time, then I do encourage you guys to go on over and check out Mark9's channel, as I will go on ahead and leave that link located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well. As Mark, I want to thank you so much for joining me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, then be sure to smash that like button down below. Tune back in for more as always. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you all down the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a terrific day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi,
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.